All right, good evening, guys. As you know, this is Gotsy. I am doing a special today where I talk to you about what I did to pass my Nclex and how I studied for my Nclex. I'm gonna show some resources that were helpful towards me and some outside resources that started this journey of me taking Nclex. But I would like to start with something to just dwell on your mind. That it's in the Saunders book. These are not my words. It says, as a nurse, you are in the position to care for sick people who will remember your face and the way you made them feel for the rest of their lives. The impact you have as a nurse is bigger than you realize. Nursing is not an easy profession, but your passion has brought you this far, and it will bring you farther than you can imagine. So I just wanted to just start with that, so you guys can dwell on that. So what I used this time where I was successful passing my boards, I finally passed my boards. I am a repeat test taker, and I finally passed my boards. So I started with ReMar this time. I did the virtual trainer with her. She also have a software online. You could go to remarnurse.com and find these ingredients. This gets shipped out to you, but now she's like creating this in a PDF form where now you have to print it. She's not providing this copy anymore. So check her out. This book was very helpful in my Nclex journey. This book was like something you could quickly refer to if you forgot something, like if something you just needed to refresh, know the basic sign and symptoms, intervention. This is the book that you need. So guys, come in. I got so much to tell you. This is my detailed study plan. It's very conducive. It's detailed. It tells you exactly what I did, and I believe with God, if you follow this study plan, and you will pass. You will pass, because this is exactly what I did. And I know 3 people that followed it that has passed. So come on in. Let me share with you what I did. And this is the second book, Saunders. All throughout nursing school, they've been preaching, get your Saunders. Me and my LPN program, my director made it a must to get Saunders. But here they kind of neglected Saunders, but Saunders may look big, but it tells you everything you need to know. Something you may not understand, something you need clarification in. This is the book. So you guys are looking at me like, you read all this book to study for that exam? No, ma'am. How I broke it down, I'm going to attach the PDF form below. I broke it off in categories, okay? So week 1, I started with maternity, right? So day 1, I did the reproductive system. I read on it, and then I tested on it. Day 2 followed. I did prenatal. I read on it, and then I test on it. Day 3, I read on the material, and I tested on it. Day 4, I read on labor and birth, then tested on the UWorld. So make sure when you're reading the chapters that you match them with the category from UWorld, so that you're matching the category. Let's see, you read labor and birth. Make sure you find something in UWorld that is labor and birth. Don't go test something that you didn't read on. As we all may hear, questions. That's what I've been doing for the past, 3-4 years without reading prior material. And it did not give me the result that I wanted. So when I decided, okay, Gotsy, you need more content. It's not about questions. Some people may do questions and just read the rationale, and they're okay to test. But some people need that extra time to go into the subject, for it to, like, dwell in their brain, for them to, so it can saturate in their brain. So I was that type of person. I had to read, I had to take notes, I had to highlight, and I just had to make it saturate. And be honest, if you're not comfortable with something, go back to it, revisit it. And that's what I did. So week 1 was maternity. I studied for 5 days. I went to the library at least 3 to 4 hours, max 5 for me. Everyone's different. Saturday and Sunday, I wrote rest. You guys need a break. You guys are reading a lot of information. It needs time to, like, saturate in your brain for you to get the information to connect the dots. So week 2, you still continued into maternity, but day 1, you read on care of a newborn, then you would test. Then day 2, you read on integumentary problems, and then you tested. You will read and then test. Hematological problems, you would read and then you would test. Day 4, oncology problems, you would read and then test. Day 5, metabolic and endocrine problems, you would read and they test. Correction, on day 2, you're starting the pediatric section. So you started pediatric, you finish it, in a week? And then you test. So here, you can't really see it, but I'll screenshot it. It's a screenshot of UWorld and the testing categories that it has and how many questions are available. So I did like a free trial just so I could get the screenshot. But when you get the full package, you would not see the lock buttons on these questions next to the categories. So basically, I just wanted to show you, like, okay, if I read this, I could find the category here and still test. Week 3, you're doing the same thing. Week 3, we're still in pediatrics. Day 1, gastrointestinal problems, we will read and then test. Be mindful when you are reading. Take notes, highlight. I wanted to make note of certain things too. Like for the Saunders book, these right here, somehow they always have questions that come from them. I've seen that in UWorld and I've seen that in Nclex. These right here, pay close attention to these things in each chapter. Somehow they always are a special question. Day 3, respiratory problems, you will read and then test. We still in peds. Day 4, cardiovascular problems, read and then test. When I'm saying read and test, I mean like you do question banks in that category. Now, if there's like 145 questions in that category, I'm not telling you to bust down 145 questions in that day, in that second. You could break it down. It could be 25. It could be 50. The max I was able to handle would be 50 to 75 questions a day. And if you don't finish testing in a category, ask questions. You can pick up the next day. We're not in a rush here. We have 3 months to study. We have 2 to 3 months to study for this category, for this Nclex. So the next category is renal and urinary problems. You will read and then test. Saturday and Sunday, you're resting. You need that break. Week 4. Now I think we dive. Oh, we're still in peds. Okay. Week 4 was still in peds. We're in neurological and cognitive problems. Make sure, guys, you're matching the topic on UWorld and on UWorld's question bank. Select neuro under the child's health category. If you are reading from there, that's what you should be testing from, nowhere else. Day 2, musculoskeletal problems, read and then test. Day 3, immune problems and infectious disease, read and then test. Day 4, immune problems and infection. Oh, I repeated myself, sorry. So day 4, you are taking a break if you want, because you just finished peds, and the next category, the next chapter is Med-Surg. So I just feel like you could take a break and just review what you may not be clear on, because there will be a lot of things you come across that, oh, I don't remember this. Oh, I don't remember how this disease process worked. So week 4, you're able to take a break on day 5. Again, Saturday and Sunday, you're resting. Week 5, Med-Surg. Med-Surg was my toughest class in LPN and in RN, and still is. There's so much to learn. Like, you never stop learning. So week 5, it's pretty deep. Week 5 through week 7 is pretty deep. So take your time and read. These chapters are long. If you need to take a break, take a break. Walk back and front. Breathe. Do something to distract you, because these Med-Surg chapters are very heavy. They are talking about the body system, and they're connecting the dots to the disease process. So day 1, you're back into integumentary problems of the adult client. You read and then you test. Day 2, on oncology and hematological problems. You read and then you test. Day 3, you see how Med-Surg is kind of repeating the problems that we had in peds, and sometimes their information shares with each other what the interventions will be or what the symptoms are. So I just like how you could connect the dots when you read it, and then you're studying, you're able to connect the dots with that. Day 4, gastrointestinal problems of an adult client. You read and test. Day 5, respiratory problems of an adult client. You read and test. Saturday and Sunday, what you do, guys? You rest. Week 6. I hope I didn't repeat myself here. Day 1, cardiovascular problems of an adult. Big topic. The heart. Is so big, and that chapter is so heavy. Focus on your strokes. Focus on your TIAs. Focus on your aneurysm. All those topics are underneath that category. Now, this category has 147 questions. As again, you're not doing all that at once. You're breaking it down to the capacity you feel like you can handle. Day 2, renal and urinary problems. You read and then test. Day 4, eye and ear problems of an adult client. You read and test. Day 5, neurological problems of an adult client. You read and then you test. Saturday and Sunday, what you doing? You rest. Day 7, week 7, day 1. Immune problems of an adult client. You read and then you test. Day 2, immune problems of an adult. Read and then test. Day 3, go over what may have been challenging. A question, a reading, or something you weren't clear of. Or even YouTube, like registered nurse RN, she's very good at breaking down. ReMar nurse, very good at breaking down information that you may not understand, because sometimes the language is kind of heavy in the Saunders, but they break it down like baby language for you. So you just repeat that. By then, this is what happened to me. By this week, I just started to feel like information just started popping up in my head. Like I was able to connect the dots because I read so much. I was writing rationales. It was like I would have aha moments to myself, and I felt comfortable speaking to myself. Like it would just be random moments when I'm like, oh, aha, this makes sense. So you might experience that. Some people are different. I'm just sharing my opinion. Week 7, Saturday and Sunday, you rest. Okay, I only touched up in growth and development in a day. Is very short category. I don't even think UWorld has a testing category by itself. I think it just threw it in with the child health, like disease process questions. So Yeah. So week 8, I would tell you, take a self-assessment. See what you grasping. When I say self-assessment, you will give 2 self-assessment just to see where you at. If you're low, borderline, above, and I forgot the very high. So just see where you're at. Again, I don't like to believe in tests. It does not define you. However, it sees where you're at and where to work harder on. That's why I'm not on here saying you need this grade. If you get this, you will pass. That's not my, I'm not gonna preach that to you, because I feel like all grade percentages could pass depending on how the person process the information, what they're doing with the information. Now, if you're not doing the work, of course, you know what you're going to get. But if you're doing the work, what you have to do, you're going back to what you don't understand. Believe me, you will pass this Nclex. Week 8, after the self-assessment, it's like 150 questions. It tells you where you're weak at. So if it's maternity, go back to maternity. If it's peds, go back to peds. If it's Med-Surg, go back to Med-Surg. So it's telling you where you're weak at. So you could revisit that. So day 1, I read on ethical and legal issues, and I tested on that. Day 2, prioritizing client care, leadership, delegation, and emergency response planning. Read and tested on that. Day 3, provision of safe environment, including your PPE and disposable of things. Now, this category, you kind of have to put, you would test under the leadership and management. You would touch there to get ethical and legal issues, to get your prioritization and delegation questions. Safety and infection control. Those are the topics on you while you're touching, because that's what matches this this topic from the Saunders book. Now, when you have done all this, yes, I left out mental health. I'll get back to that after. Now you can just start automatically testing yourself. Random 75 questions from all this category. You just select them, and then in the box, you just put 75 questions, and it'll just randomly select questions from all over just to see, okay, how good am I? Do I need more work again? I left pharmacology out because in the Saunders, if they talk about cardiovascular, they have cardiovascular medications as the next chapter. Honestly, in this disease process again, I feel like the important medications, they're already associated with the disease. So you studying extra medications, you're not a doctor. I don't find it necessary to do. But if you got the time, I can't blame you. You're still learning. So use your discretion with mental health. Use last month to study it, but still redirect to other things that you may have felt that you might not have grasped it. Good luck on your studying. Remember, I was once you. Find a way that works for you and stick with it. Be gentle with yourself, ask questions, and never give up. From a repeat test taker. I hope this inspires you. I hope this motivates you. For the ones that have graduated and let this test bring fear, come on, get up, study, pray, 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 pray. Pray and ask God to give you the guidance to open that book, because I used to be that one. I'm not opening that book. So pray for God to lead you into this journey. So thank you for watching my video. If you got questions, just post them below. I'm here to answer any questions you guys have. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Sitting Down with Godsey. Bye.